Today on Judge Faith, neighbors at war come to court.
I know what I heard. It sounded like somebody was being thrown against the wall.
What happened was, me and him was arguing when she pulled back up. She had a baby in her hand.
Okay.
He said, baby, give me the baby and whoop this BA.
Do you love your children?
Yes, I do.
You are teaching them to solve their problems with violence.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor, and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real, and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiffs Crystal Sims and Jermaine McFarley say their combative tenant is destroying their apartment and is late on paying the rent. They're suing for a security deposit, rent due, and property damage. Defendant Elizabeth Ross says she doesn't owe any money because Jermaine never made the promised repairs to the apartment. She's countersuing for the return of rent and a security deposit.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of McFarley versus Ross.
Thank you, Juan. Jermaine McFarley?
Yes.
You and Crystal Sims are suing the defendant Elizabeth Ross
Yes.
for $900 for security deposit, rent due, and property damage?
Yes.
And you're countersuing, ma'am, for $790 for the return of rent and a security deposit?
Yes.
Okay, so why don't we start from the beginning, Mr. McFarley? Why don't you tell me what's going on here?
Well, our defendant here, I met her through a mutual friend, and she needed a place to go because she was getting evicted from her previous place.
Okay.
So I told her about my place needed work and everything. And
What place is this?
This is next door. I own a two-family flat, side-by-side two-family flat.
Mm-hmm. So you live in one part,
Yes.
and you decided to lease out the other
Yes.
part. Okay, and so when was that? What month and year?
That was like the end of March of 2015.
When did she move in?
April.
What was the agreement in terms of rent?
She was supposed to give me $1,100 for security deposit and $550 in rent.
And was there anything in writing?
Yes. Yes.
You have it in writing,
Yes,
the agreement?
we have
May I
a
see
lease
it, please? Okay, let me see that. And what do you say the agreement was?
The agreement was that I give him $500 because I would only pay $550 a month. And so he agreed to $1,000, but that also changed later.
Okay, but you did sign this, this is the original copy. You signed an agreement, right?
Right, but it
A
wasn't
lease?
what he just said, Your Honor.
Okay, so let me just look at it. It says here that you will pay monthly rent in the amount of $600. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. You will pay a total of $1,100 as a security deposit.
No, that's not what was done, though.
Okay, so what happens? She
Okay.
moves in, and what's going on?
Okay, we made the...
Are you still living in this apartment?
Yes,
Yes.
I am.
Okay. All right, so what's going on?
Okay, the agreement was she didn't have the whole $1,100. So I told her, since I still needed to do work on the place and I would come over there and do work, you would pay me a partial, including the rent, plus an extra $50 or $100.
How much do you say she paid you?
Probably $690.
Not probably. How much do you say she paid you?
Exactly.
Okay, is that true, ma'am?
No, ma'am, that's not true.
How much did you say you gave
I
him?
paid him $790, and the agreement was, don't worry about it because the house needs so much work, the rest of the security deposit.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
The thing is, when I told her that the apartment would need work, I would work on it, then she would work on paying me the whole $1,100.
How did it need work?
Because I needed work done into it,
Like
as
what,
far
for
as,
example?
Like I redid the bathroom while she was staying there.
Was it inspected and was it up to code when you leased it to the defendant?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, it's supposed to be.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. She told me she needed a place to stay because she was getting evicted from her last house due to domestic violence on her boyfriend. Mm-hmm. So I told her, well, we came up with an agreement, and she moved in on April the 1st,
And who all moved in?
She moved in with her 2 kids, her boyfriend, and then later on, a week later, got a roommate.
Okay, and who do you say moved in, ma'am?
Me and my 2 kids moved in. The following day after I moved in, my roommate moved in, which is...
The next day?
The very next day.
Okay, but there's an agreement in place that you would be living there, right?
Right, but I talked to Mr. McFarley about it before I allowed her to do that. He agreed to it as long as I was responsible for this woman if for whatever reason she did not pay her half of the rent.
Okay, and did you have that conversation?
No, it wasn't like that.
What was the conversation?
I told her that since you moved someone else in, I would have to add them to the lease agreement, plus the rent will go up to $600.
Is that true?
That's correct.
Okay. And so what happens?
So we came to that agreement. Ms. Ross stayed there the first month. Then her and her roommate started getting into it every day.
What do you mean getting into it? Fighting?
Yes,
That
fighting.
night that she moved in, her and her boyfriend was fighting.
That's a
Okay.
lie.
The very next day, she came outside and tried to tell me that it was her autistic
Autistic
son
son.
that was making all the racket.
Oh, because you had complained that there was noise?
Yes, I did.
What did you hear
that
exactly?
night, it sounded like somebody was being thrown against the wall. Then you could hear both of them
Rumble.
cussing.
What was going on?
That's a
and
lie.
hollering.
My son was wrestling with one of my friends.
How old
and
is your son?
He's 10. And they were wrestling around, and I told them to cut it out, stop it.
What time of
stop
night
it.
was this?
2 o'clock in the morning?
We have been cleaning.
It was about 2.
2 o'clock in the morning?
But we had been cleaning the house because it wasn't ready. So I had
Okay.
been up all night cleaning.
So you said she said
emptying
she
it out.
heard cursing and
Yeah,
yelling
a
and
grown
shouting
man
and people
and
being
a grown
thrown.
woman, and then
up
our
against the
bedrooms
wall.
are right next door to each
Door
other.
to
They're
each other.
separated by a small wall.
Okay.
I know what I heard.
Coming up, the feuding gets physical.
She snatched the door open and began attacking me.
That's all the scratch marks.
That
She
she did.
scratched at me like a cat. It
And
was
this
straight
is
scratches.
The next day after she moved
The next
in.
morning.
Plaintiffs Crystal Sims and Jermaine McFarley say they want Elizabeth out of their apartment. But first, she needs to pay. They're suing for a security deposit, rent, and property damage. Defendant Elizabeth Ross says she doesn't owe any money because since day one, the apartment has been in disrepair. She's countersuing for the return of rent and a security deposit.
Okay, and so she says that she heard grown man and woman yelling, screaming, cursing.
That's a lie.
And you say it was your 10-year-old son
It
wrestling?
was my 10-year-old son wrestling with a grown person, but I was telling them cut that
At 2
ass
o'clock in
out.
the morning?
Yes,
Yeah.
because they were helping me empty out the house. The house
That's
had to
true.
be even emptied out.
Okay, I understand that, but at 2 o'clock in the morning they're up wrestling?
Yes, 'cause they
okay,
were still
go ahead.
woke.
So
Yeah.
what happens the next day?
So the very next day, she came outside. I was taking my son to school. She came outside and tried to apologize to me and told me that it was her son. I didn't accept the apology. I got in the car, took my son to school. Came back home, and they was into it.
Yes.
They had got into another argument, but the argument was over her telling him that I was lying about them or what I heard. You know, as the morning went along, me and her started getting into it. And then when I came outside, I have a 1-year-old. Well, we have a 1-year-old. I came outside with my son. I noticed that she getting ready to start coming at me. So when I handed my son
What do
to
you mean
him,
coming at you?
like
lie.
she was gonna try to fight me.
That's a
Okay.
lie.
So when he grabbed my son and I turned around, she swung at me. And when she swung at me, I had scratch marks all over my face. She tried to Mike Tyson my ear.
What happened?
What happened was, me and him was arguing when she pulled back up, okay? She had a baby in her hand.
Okay.
He said, baby, give me the baby and whoop this BA. She's
Oh, really?
snatched open
Really?
my screen door, and that's when
To
we
your
got-
house?
To my house, to the
But
back
we
door,
are in
because
the
me and him were
backyard.
arguing in the backyard, and that's
That's not
exactly
true.
what she did. She snatched the
not
door
true. That's not
open
true.
and
That's
began attacking me.
Oh, so she attacked
But
you?
I got
Yes, she
pictures
did.
of my
Okay,
face
who called
messed up.
did someone
I
call
called
the
the
police?
police.
Yes.
Yes,
I
I
made
did.
You
police
witnessed
report.
this?
Yes, I'm witnessing.
Did you break it up?
Yes, I had my baby
No.
in one hand and I grabbed her with the other hand.
Who called the police?
I did.
Did you call the police?
No, a
Okay.
friend of mine called the police, and
Let
he
me
was the
see
one that broke
Let me
it
see
up.
the photos. Whose photos are these?
Mine.
These are-
This
oh.
is
That's where she tried to Mike Tyson my ear
Yeah.
off, and I had an earring at the top,
top
of
of
it.
her ear.
That's all the scratch marks.
that
She
she did.
scratched at me like a cat. It
And
was
this
straight
is
scratches.
The next day after she moved
The next
in.
morning.
Did you do that? You did that
Your
to her
Honor,
face?
she attacked me. I defended
Really?
myself.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And the
She
photos
attacked
clearly
me,
see.
Yeah.
and I defended myself. I didn't have any choice. I was in my
How
house.
were you injured? What injuries did you have?
I was sore. I was hurt.
Okay,
I had some scratches.
and then you called the police.
Yes.
My friend called the police
I called
because
the
when he
police.
tried to break
Who
over
filed the
each other.
police report?
I did.
You filed. What happened to the case? Were you arrested?
No, I told
What?
her to drop the case.
Why is that?
Because I thought she was gonna move.
Because we
I
had
asked
an
her to move.
agreement that I wouldn't press charges
If
with her
she
if she
moved.
moved.
Okay, but that didn't happen.
No, it
No.
didn't.
So
No.
why haven't you pressed charges?
They had said or made the
This
agreement.
was the
a
next
week
day.
after.
This was the next day after she
Yeah.
moved in.
We should have.
So what is it? So she beat my girlfriend, but she pays the rent on time, so we cool.
No, I'm
nothing
not
ever
collecting
Yes,
rent.
ma'am.
I haven't
She has not
collected
paid.
rent
Yes, ma'am.
since April. Since she gave me the security deposit.
And you
see,
also haven't
Sharon.
moved for an eviction.
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
I
we
got
have
paperwork.
papers on that.
I got
When did you do that? How many months later?
probably about a month later, maybe.
Did they ask you to leave after you beat
Yes,
her
'cause
down?
No, they did not.
Yes, she did. I offered her
asked him, Your Honor,
$200.
for my
Stop
money
talking.
back. I said, just give me my
Talk.
security deposit and my first
Because
month's rent,
you
and I'll
know
leave.
it's pretty much not going to work for you to live there after
Exactly.
you beat down your landlord's
He
girlfriend.
came back to
But
me.
she's still
He
there.
said, well, first he said, I'm not giving you anything. Just get the F out. And then he came back later and said, look, I really don't want to go through this. We could just squash this and everything will be all right.
Looks like that's what happened.
No, I told her I would give her $200
If she moved on
If
the
she
first
moved
of
by
the
the
next
first
That is
of
month.
the
not
next
true, Your
month.
Honor.
Let me see your
And
eviction
I-
paperwork.
I
Have you been served eviction papers?
Yes, and I went
What
to
date?
court.
Just tell me what date.
It was filed June the 1st, if I'm correct.
So she moved in April. You say she beat down your girlfriend.
Right.
April 2nd, the day after she moved in, and you don't file for eviction until June. All right.
Well,
Go
the thing
ahead.
is-
What happened? What else happened? You said she had multiple fights with people?
Yeah, she got into it. First, she was getting into it with her roommate. I mean, they fussing, arguing, cussing each other out every day. about
Physically
something.
fighting? The two of you were
Yeah, they
physically
were-
Yeah, they
fighting?
got into one
Physically
physical
fighting.
fight.
Called, yeah,
The
one
police
time.
was called numerous of times to my home.
Who was calling the police?
Everybody.
were.
We was. I
They
called
were.
a couple of times. The neighbors
They
have
were.
called.
Nobody
And-
but them.
So you were
She called
fighting.
too.
You were
Yeah,
fighting with your roommate.
Yes.
They
About
roommate
what?
called the police.
We fought that once because she cut my refrigerator cord. She cut my appliances. I went to go
Why?
look for
And
a
you
house.
beat her up too?
I went to go look for a house. When I came back, she cut my cord. She said, well, you owe me that in lights and gas.
Yeah, they.
And so
they
you did what as a result? When you saw she cut your
cut
cord?
her cords too.
Cut her cords too.
And fought.
Okay.
And we got
then
into
what?
a physical
And you got to
altercation.
and who called the police on that one?
No
She
one.
did.
No one, because you just
We didn't
gonna
fight.
duke it out. That's how you solve your problems.
No, that's not, but I was defending myself.
And you're 41
Your
years old and you have 2 kids. And in the 5 minutes I've heard this case, I've heard about 2 fights you've had with people.
And that's more.
Honor. Yes, ma'am.
And there's more.
Coming up on Judge Faith, was the apartment a wreck or a work in progress?
This is the bathroom above this. He said he was going to repair this after first month's rent.
That is the leak that I fixed up in
That's
the
how the
bathroom.
ceiling looks
Yes, that's
inside the
how
home?
Yes, ma'am.
Just by that photo alone, that's a real problem.
Plaintiffs Crystal Sims and Jermaine McFarley say they're tired of arguing with Elizabeth about the apartment and just want her out. They're suing for a security deposit, rent, and property damage. Defendant Elizabeth Ross says she doesn't owe any money because the apartment is uninhabitable. She's countersuing for the return of rent and a security deposit.
You have anger issues? Clearly you do.
It's only when she's drinking. That's the only time she get belligerent
We
is when
wasn't
she's
every
drinking.
day.
when I went to go look for the house and came back.
Is that true?
No, it's not true. I've gotten into a physical
How many
altercation
other fights have you had since you've lived there? With who else?
with my roommate
you gotta
and
think about
the
it.
lady down the street. And that's because my roommate
With
went
another
down-
neighbor down the street.
Yes.
So that's 3 people.
Yes, it is. My roommate went down there saying, oh, she said this about you, she said that about you, and that's how I end up keep getting into it with her.
Oh, because you
of my
felt like you were
roommate.
disrespected. How old are your
No,
kids?
I didn't- no, I
How old
didn't
are your
feel-
kids?
My kids are 16 and 10.
And they live with you?
Yes.
According to you, everyone tries to attack you.
Okay.
You have to defend yourself on multiple occasions with different people. Most of us don't have to walk around defending ourselves every 3 weeks against someone trying to jump on us. I mean, you're physically saying you have to defend yourself. And you want me to believe that you are not the aggressor and you don't have anger issues. You have a 16-year-old and a 10-year-old. They're living with you, right?
Right.
And you and your roommate are carrying on like that? Do you love your children?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, you understand what you're teaching them, right? When they see you cussing and fighting, physically being violent with other people, you are teaching them to solve their problems with violence. That is not the environment you want to raise your kids in, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
That is not. Why are you suing her today, sir? She's still living there.
Well, I'm suing her for the damages to my property that she I'm talking about study tearing it up.
What kind of damages? Are you damaging his property?
No, ma'am.
I got
What
a
do you say she's doing?
broken window. She
Set the fireplace
set the
on
fireplace, and the fireplace is just for looks.
It was one piece of wood that had some paint on it or some kind of paint or something on it, which did cause smoke.
Okay, but did he tell you
I
that it
know.
wasn't functional?
No, he did not.
Okay.
Not until after.
What is your countersuit about?
My countersuit is I want my security deposit back in my first
But you
month's
still
rent.
live there.
The agreement
free.
was, no, the
For
agreement
free.
was,
Last time you paid
I have
rent, ma'am.
pictures, was May.
You paid rent in May. Okay.
Yes.
So
I have my dismissal from Detroit where I went to court for the eviction and he didn't show up.
Okay. Did you not show up on the eviction
No,
date?
I did not. I had to work that day
you
because
couldn't get
I
out.
just started working.
You don't really want her out.
I mean, yes, I do.
Because if you did, you would have pressed charges
The
because
thing
then
is,
she would really be out.
Look,
I mean, that's the way, if you really care.
But see, though, I need the job in order to put her out. Without the job, I can't put her out.
Sir, what I'm telling you is, if you really wanted her out,
Oh,
all you had to do was press charges. Let me see the photos you submitted, because you say the reason why you're not paying is because the place is uninhabitable.
Right.
Let me see. What is this a photo of?
This is the bathroom above this. He said he was going to repair this after first month's rent.
That is the leak that I fixed up in
That's
the
how
bathroom.
the ceiling looks
yes, that's
inside
how
the
it
home?
looks. Yes, ma'am. She seen that before she moved in, and I
Doesn't
told
matter.
her.
It doesn't. So, okay, let me explain something to you. You are a landlord now.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. You are a landlord now.
Yes.
It doesn't matter, because I see these things happen all the time. Desperate people in desperate situations, they need somewhere to live, and they'll take anything.
Right.
That doesn't negate your obligations and duties as a landlord to rent a property that's past code and that is inhabitable. Just because someone comes along and they say, hey, I'll rent it as is, you can't do that. Even if they say they will. As a landlord, that's your responsibility to make sure that a place is inhabitable for someone to live.
Yes.
Just by that photo alone, that's a real problem.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
Before I get to the legal aspects of this case, I have to tell you I'm really concerned about the things you're doing in front of your kids. You have a kid who's young as 10 years old, and someone's going to call Child Protective Services on you.
They've been called.
They've been called twice.
I mean, that's just the bottom line, because what you're doing in front of your kids is abuse. Now, in terms of the legal aspect of this case, first of all, this place is not ready to be leased to anyone.
Right.
It's simply not ready.
Yes.
And so you have to move. In the court, once you go to eviction court, that's what's going to happen. They're going to order you to move one way or the other if it's for non-payment of rent, but mostly because it's uninhabitable.
Yes.
Even if the place was legal and able, and you were able to rent it out, you prematurely filed this case because she's still living there. What if I gave you a judgment today for 2 months of back rent, but she lives there for 5 more months? Your first priority should go to eviction court, get her evicted, and then you sue for back payment of rent that she hasn't paid. But you can't even do that at this point because this place is uninhabitable.
Right.
You have countersued for the return of your security deposit. That's also premature because you still live there. He has to make an assessment. You say she damaged the property?
Yeah, study
The
damage.
place looks almost condemned as it is.
Yes.
I understand what the agreement was. You would pay rent and he would continue to work on the house to do repairs. You needed a place to stay, you needed the money.
Yes.
But now you're coming into court and I have to interpret this from a strictly legal perspective, and that's what I'm doing. So what has to happen here is the two of you have to go to eviction court to get this whole thing sorted out in terms of you moving, and you need to move.
Yeah.
This is not a place you want to live with your 2 kids.
No.
Okay? So you need to get out of there, and if you don't get your security deposit back and you think that's unfair, that's when you file a lawsuit. But right now, this lawsuit is not timely. Your lawsuit has a number of issues because I find that at this point, this place is uninhabitable and she should not have ever moved in there in the first place. But your remedy in any event is to go to eviction court first. So I'm dismissing both of your cases without prejudice.
I feel like she's absolutely correct that all that I'm going through, I indirectly take my children through, and I wanted to take care of it the second I get back to Detroit.
She's right. I didn't have the place together. I shouldn't have never rented, but I know not to go with my heart next time other than feeling sorry for somebody.